And he had like 2 people already filming from like 2 different angles. And these dudes slowly started to create this like sort of surrounding barrier around me to like kind of close me in.
Yeah.
And what happened, they attacked at the right time because like there was a wall like this.
Boxing is a dirty business. It's a dirty sport. And there's always one judge that's in the bag, it seems.
Right.
At the very least, if they're not absolutely paid off, at the very least, they're deeply indebted to the promoters.
You know, but me, I'm gonna speak my mind. I'm just gonna keep it 100, man. Jake Paul is fugazi. He's fake.
That's how you feel?
Truly feel. I'll bust him up and his trainer in the same night. 2 for 1.
Jake Paul is said to be hiding from the authorities after Joe Rogan and Anthony Joshua shared shocking information about him. Jake said the investigation comes from many problems and claims linked to his boxing matches, putting him under serious pressure and attention.
For 1 second. And I was like, I'm either gonna kill all these people, but then I just realized that wasn't possible. Another car pulls up, and 5 dudes get out, and these were like the cleaner-uppers who had the malintention to actually like grab onto me and
do the dirty.
Yeah, exactly.
Joe Rogan says that boxing is a very dirty business where money plays a big role. He explains that the sport is often controlled by powerful people with hidden plans. Rogan points out that among all the judges, there is almost always one who has been paid or given money to change the result of a fight. He says these actions damage the honesty of boxing and make both fans and fighters angry, because many fights are decided by money and power instead of real skill and performance.
Boxing is a dirty business. It's a dirty sport. And there's always one judge that's in the bag, it seems.
Right.
At the very least, if they're not absolutely paid off, at the very least, they're deeply indebted to the promoters. And there is some sort of an agenda to have this person who's either the most marketable or the one who the most is riding on. I mean, I don't think he's going to have a rematch. He didn't talk about a rematch. He didn't say he wanted a rematch. And Francis wants a rematch for sure. Francis thinks he won the fight.
Joe Rogan explains the fight and says it looked more like a controlled practice than a real battle in the ring. He says that while there were a few tense moments, the fight never became intense enough for serious danger. Rogan believes the fighters were holding back on purpose, choosing to stay safe instead of fully attacking. He says this shows how some big fights focus more on entertainment and safety than real competitive risk.
Less than a decade, he has had no real professional opponents other than Tommy Fury that were legitimate world-class boxers.
I don't even remember what happened in the Tommy.
He lost a close decision, but it was a good fight. It was a good fight, though. He's a good boxer. If he wasn't a YouTuber, people would be way more impressed with him.
Yeah.
The problem is he was like a famous kid, and then no one took him seriously.
Yeah.
But
and then he started too with like more spectacle-ish fights. People were like, "Oh, this is you." He fought, Nate Robinson, like a basketball player.
But the thing is, he knocked Nate Robinson
He knocked him
dead.
the fuck out.
And
yeah.
it's the way he did it that I was trying to tell people. I'm like, no. That was skillful. So like there's like boxing matches where you see 2 guys just slugging it out, one guy lands a punch, and yeah, he landed a good punch. What Jake did is he slid back and landed a punch.
Yeah.
It's like the athleticism along with the intelligence, the technique. I'm like, he's not even doing it that long. And he's also hyper competitive, even though he's wealthy.
Yeah.
Like you would assume that wealth would take away your drive for
But
competition.
it hasn't, yeah.
He's also nuts, right? Just
Yeah.
the fact that he's willing to fight the 2-time heavyweight champion, former Olympic gold medalist,
Yeah.
a guy who's gigantic in his prime,
Gigantic.
built like a Greek god.
Yeah.
And you're going to stand, and he's a one-punch killer, and you're going to stand in front of that guy, and he avoided shots till the 6th round. He just started getting tired.
Yeah, his movement in that fight was crazy.
It was very good.
Yeah,
it was very good.
He was really keeping him moving around the whole ring, and then
You can't afford to get tired.
You can't get
That's
tired.
the thing is, like, he gets tired in a lot of his fights in the later rounds. You should really sort that out.
Anthony Joshua says he did not agree to any special deals or easy rules for his fight with Jake Paul. He says he told Jake and his team that he would not hold back at all. Joshua explains that he planned to attack early, keep strong pressure, and control the fight from the very start. He says his goal was to fully test Jake, stay intense the whole time, and finish the fight clearly with no mercy or controlled ending.
If AJ doesn't knock him out in the first round, in the second round, then he didn't really win the fight, even if he ultimately does win the fight. on the scorecards. Do you feel that sort of pressure to not just
Yeah,
win, Anthony,
yeah,
but also knock Jake Paul out?
yeah. I understand. I really understand where they're coming from. I understand. I get it. I know the expectations and demands these fans have, and I respect it. If I didn't respect it, I'll be honest with you and say, nah, they're talking rubbish. But I do get it because I hold myself in that same regard. So I need to do it, and that's my intention to seek and destroy.
Before the fight, Joe Rogan thought there might be some kind of agreement in place because of how dangerous the matchup was for Jake Paul. He knew there were big differences between Jake and Anthony Joshua in size, strength, skill, and experience. Rogan believed Joshua's power and technique could seriously hurt Jake, making the fight very risky. He said these gaps would make a normal fight plan hard for Jake, so special planning or limits may have been needed to keep the fight safe.
And deep depression, a severe brain imbalance that's going to lead you to addiction. It leads so many people to impulsive behavior. So many people become gambling addicts, drug addicts, alcoholics after their fighting career.
Yeah.
It's you could only take so much. And at a certain, like that one that he got from Joshua, ooh, you know, say if you have like a punch card, you have like so many punches that you can get in your life, which I believe you do. I believe there's a certain number. That one was like 10 punches.
Yeah.
That was like,
Yeah.
there was a lot of concussions in that one punch.
Sure.
That was real damage. Like if someone's breaking your jaw in two places, the inside of your fucking head there's a lot of damage going on in there too.
After the fight, Anthony Joshua made a strong comment that quickly caught attention. He suggested that knocking out Jake Paul may have actually saved Jake. Joshua said that if the fight had gone on, he would have slowly broken Jake down both mentally and physically. His words showed how confident he was in his control and pointed to the big gap in skill and experience between them. This honest statement sparked more talk about the fight and what it meant for both fighters.
Fighting's not just physical, it's psychological. And when you understand the psychological warfare, I did say to you is that, Jake, what's going to happen? I'm going to see a time when I'm going to take your soul and you're either going to give up or you're going to get knocked out. And unless you have that instinct, you just will never be a good fighter.
Tim Bradley shared his own strong criticism and openly called out Jake Paul. He said Paul's boxing career feels fake and that his fights do not include real competition. Bradley believes Jake is more about hype than true skill and said he should not be seen as a serious boxer. His comments showed that many respected boxing figures are starting to doubt Jake Paul's place in the sport.
I can't knock you I can't knock your hustle when you've built something outside of boxing and you say, hey, yo, I'm coming over here to the sport now and I'm gonna pick and choose who I fight. Y'all come follow me. If they follow him, man, I just understand what it is. I know what I'm looking at. You're not gonna fool me over here. Save that stuff for them other people, because I'm not gonna believe that I'm the face of. No, you're not the face of boxing. I'm not giving you that because that's for a lifer.
But that's what he believes.
That's cool. I can't knock him for that. People believe a lot of things for a lot of different reasons. I'm just saying, you can do all the rah-rah stuff. That's your business. But I just know what I'm looking at, right? But on the monetary side and it being an event, the truth is that when he does fight, it does bring attention around the sport. People debate, they argue, people want to see the fight. Is it legit? Is it him and Mike Tyson? No, it's an event.
That's what it is.
The fight showed how dangerous this matchup was for Jake Paul. Going up against the bigger and taller Anthony Joshua, Jake went down to his knees several times. Each fall put him at risk of serious injuries, including damage to his ligaments. Experts compared these moments to the career-changing damage Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. suffered against Sergio Martinez. These repeated falls proved how risky it was for Jake to face an elite heavyweight.
You're in there with a bigger, taller person, so keep taking the knee. First of all, your knee, you can get ligament damage. Remember when Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. was losing every round to Sergio Martinez, and then Martinez fell to the ground kind of weird? He messed up his knee. He was never the same fighter. So you got a broken jaw, but you could have tore ligaments in your knee by having a 260-pound man, fall on top of you because you keep making it sloppy and falling around and spilling about. And even if you don't like rupture something or tear a ligament or whatever, it's not really much better than someone leaning on you. Do you know how much energy you exert by having to be like 220 pounds or whatever, 216, and keep picking yourself back up? Like I seen a thing. I didn't count myself, but it said there were 12 or 13, maybe 14 times that Jake Paul was on the canvas. Horrible strategy, and Netflix, I don't even see how they would like that. And for me, this generation they're chopped, bro. Jake Paul did all this, and y'all want me to give a bunch of credit. Jake Paul did all this talking about Joshua getting knocked out. You did whatever to sell the fight, but you didn't make good. That doesn't make you look good when you talk crazy and talk spicy, and then you have no intentions of fulfilling that. And then you got the Jake Paul fans and the Andrew Tate fans, because they lost kind of back to back, where they're trying their hardest to turn this into some inspirational story. Like, oh, as long as you try, it doesn't matter. No.
Even with all the danger in the ring, Jake Paul confidently claimed that he beat Anthony Joshua and acted like the winner. However, experts quickly disagreed, saying Jake depended more on defense and luck than real control. During the fight, he went down on his knees many times and even fell to the mat, putting himself in serious danger. From a skill point of view, these moments showed big weaknesses in his ability to handle an experienced heavyweight. Analysts said this made Jake's victory claim hard to believe, explaining that simply surviving Joshua's attacks does not mean he truly won the fight.
He's a professional boxer who had a 12-1 record. Well, he's 12-2 now. Lost against the two boxers that was young and healthy and who trained boxing and not from a different sport or over the hill or retired. Okay? You treat him like a boxer. Stop calling him a YouTuber. Stop calling him, because this is what they're doing now. We saw all the predictions. Y'all didn't see the predictions where everybody was shitting on Anthony Joshua and not putting respect on his name, acting like he's going to get knocked out. Tyson Fury said it. Oscar De La Hoya said it. Drake put $200,000 on Jake Paul. Nate Diaz said Anthony Joshua was going to get knocked out. David Hay picked Jake Paul. Let's not forget, right at the press conference, they went on the whole panel and asked who would win, Anthony Joshua or Jake Paul. And everybody was saying Jake Paul. Ridiculous. We're going to get into the disrespect of Anthony Joshua. So let's treat him like a real fucking boxer. Because he is. When I said once, this is what I told everybody. Once he actually fought Tommy Fury, who was the first boxer he fought. Once he fought a boxer, win or lose, I said, now I count him as a professional boxer. I'm not counting you as a professional boxer when you're fighting NBA players, other YouTubers, MMA fighters who are even just wrestlers and BJJ practitioners like Ben Askren and Nate Diaz. I'm not counting that.
Simon Jordan gave a bigger picture of the fight, saying it felt more like a show than a real sports contest. He pointed out the huge differences in size, experience, and achievements between the fighters. Anthony Joshua came in with an amazing record, having won the heavyweight title twice and an Olympic gold medal, proving he was very skilled. Jake Paul, on the other hand, had a shorter boxing history with mostly flashy but easier fights. Jordan said this made the outcome seem almost decided and turned the focus from real competition to entertainment. The crowd was drawn not by skill or strategy, but by the dramatic matchup of an underdog facing a top champion.
The boxing industry, because straight after the fight, I heard the question being posed to Joshua, will he now fight Fury? And then my first thought was, after what I've seen, who cares? After that, who cares if Joshua fights Fury? I like Anthony Joshua immensely, Spencer. Any exchanges I've had with him, I think he comes across terrifically well. But I fail to see where it's taken us, where it's taken him, other than hugely increasing his bank balance. You know, I really fail to see what this has done.
Well, it's done nothing, but he was going to fight in November, like I said, and he's just gone in there against Jake Paul. What has it done for his legacy? Absolutely zero. But it was, you know, he's earned a lot of money doing that. And he's going to go again and he's going to fight possibly February, March, and then there's that Tyson Fury fight that's looming that could happen in September, whether Tyson Fury decides to come out of retirement or not come out of retirement. For Anthony Joshua, he's earned a hell of a lot of money. This is prize fighting, and that's what it's all about. And that's what he's done, and he's built a new audience as well.
Adam Booth gave a more detailed view of the fight. He said that Paul showed some improvement, with moments where he made Joshua miss with good moves. Booth noticed Paul's positioning and footwork, which sometimes made Joshua stop and reset instead of landing punches easily. This showed that even though Paul's chances were small, he had made real progress, which many people missed when talking about the fight.
We had Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul share the ring. Your takeaways from the 6 rounds that we saw, presuming you watched?
I was impressed with Jake Paul. I thought that, following on from what we're saying, right? A few years ago, he was on Disney as a kid, acting up, and has decided to become a professional fighter. That takes balls, but he's obviously striving to be as good as he can be. You can see that in the way that he moves, the way that he is developed in how he's punching and performing. But to make a 2-time world heavyweight champion that's still live, you know, AJ's still got something about him, to make him miss in such an accomplished manner. All right, so at times he was jumping out and running around, but there were times when he was well in range and still making AJ unable to land a clean, solid shot. He deserves a lot of respect for that. And then the shot that actually finished the fight, that broke his jaw quite badly, didn't put him out. That shot's put that shot he threw with serious intention has put a lot of professional heavyweights to sleep. He didn't go to sleep. He actually finished on his knees, didn't he? Laughing and spitting blood out of his mouth. So, like they say, like it's a special type of crazy and a special type of brave to do it. But I actually hats off to him because he showed that he's developing some accomplished little skills in there to look after himself. The size difference is always going to fatigue him.
I know everyone will come with the idea that, oh, well, AJ should just go in there 1 round and smash him to bits, and that should be it was a big ring, right? Perhaps he could have cut the ring off a bit better, but would I be right in saying that regardless of skill level, if you forget about that with the 2 for a second, if someone is on the back foot on their bike and doing what Jake was doing, it's difficult, no matter who you are, no matter the kind of separation in skill level.
It's a big ring, and you've either got to run at him and look like a novice yourself, or just take your time and understand that he's going to slow down.
Finally, Daniel Cormier praised Paul for being brave against such a strong opponent. He pointed out the big risk, saying fighting a top heavyweight like Joshua was very hard for someone used to lighter opponents. While joking about the $100 million prize, Cormier made it clear that real courage was needed to take the fight. This showed that no matter the skill differences or who won, Paul's choice to face the challenge deserved respect.
Your take on that fight? What were your thoughts on that? I thought Jake Paul's a brave guy. Then I found out he made $100 million. I was thinking, well, anybody would fight for $100 million, but bro, he fought. I literally ran into Logan Paul in New York City, and I said to him, it was weird too because I was going into a studio to interview Kamaru Usman for one of my shows, and Logan Paul was at the coffee shop. He's like, DC. I was like, what's up, Logan? Because he does a tremendous job in WWE. Yeah, Logan Paul does. I don't watch WWE, but I know that. Dude, he's huge. He might literally be the best professional wrestler in the world. Really? He's such an athlete, bro. Yeah. He's unbelievable. But I'm just stroking him right now. I swear to God, bro, it's unbelievable how good the kid is. Okay. From the moment he started doing it, he was really good. He can cut a promo, huh? Like, he got what kids say. Promo. He's got a promo, but he's also good in the ring. Okay. He's really athletic. I said to him, I go, what type of safeguards do you have in place to make sure he doesn't get his head knocked off against Anthony Joshua? He's going to fight Gervonta Davis, who weighed in at 137 2 fights ago. So now you're going to go fight Anthony Joshua, who weighs all of 250? He said, all right. He said, he's going to just fight him. I go, man, he's very bold. And then what happened was he ran a lot. Yeah. Here's the thing. Everybody goes, even Eddie Hearn goes, he did better than Francis. And I'm like, well, Francis didn't move around much. Francis thought he could actually fight him because of what he did to Tyson Fury, right? Couldn't. Tyson Fury might have overlooked him a little bit, and I think that's what happened. Like, he got caught with the right hand dropped. Anthony Joshua was like, I'm not taking any chances with this guy. So he fought him, and he took him serious. But Francis didn't move.
That's all for today's video. Stay tuned for the next one.